Alrighty. All right, welcome to your 30-minute dumbbell strength class. Today, my name is Alina. We are going to be focusing on that lower body today. So if you have some dumbbells that are a challenging weight for you, keep them close by. I brought back my heavy weights, so I actually only have 8s today, but we'll make it work. So anywhere between 5s, 8s, 10s, if you have a kettlebell, just some variations for, we have squats, some lunges, and things like that. So we're going to start with a warm-up. We have about 4 minutes for a warm-up, so go ahead and set your watch if you haven't already. My reminder. All right, from here, we're going to start with just our knee lifts. We're going to start with those hips and quads, get nice and warm. Our first exercise of the day is going to be our goblet squats. So thinking about what weight you will use for those. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to do a few leg swings, or bring it back and up, or swing it. Just to warm up those hips. Good, same thing, other side. Good. All right, we're just gonna squat it out with some body weight squats. Sit those hips back. We're not really going into a full squat yet. You can warm up those legs a little bit more. Maybe get a little lower with each squat. Do a form check if you need to. Make sure your core is nice and engaged. Knees are tracking right behind that second toe. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. All right. All right, do a couple calf raises here. Bring it up onto the toes. Good, all the way up. Squeeze those calves. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Rest. Shake it out. All right, last one. Nice big circle with those hips. And then reverse that direction. So out to in. At the very end of class, we are going to work on a little bit of some more strengthening hip mobility on the floor. All right, last one. All right, shake it out. All right, grab your weights. We're going to start with our goblet squat. We're going to do 3 sets of 10. If you are using a very heavy weight, I want you to be in the 8 to 10 range. If you're using a lighter weight, maybe go for 12. So listen to your body, see what feels good. We're going to pull that weight right up under either the chin. Options here, bringing it straight down and back, or you can hold the weight low as well. If that ever gives you a little bit too much tension on the upper back, a lower hold will be a little bit better. So we're going to start with our goblet squats. Sit those hips back, down and up, drive through those heels for 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Rest. Got about 20 seconds in between, anywhere between 20 and 30. If you're using a really heavy weight, feel free to go a little bit longer rest periods. My attention span is shorter, so I do shorter rest periods. Here we go. Set number 2, goblet squat, feet hip width apart. Nice strong core, send it back. Hips come back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we got about 10 more seconds. Feel free to move in between your sets. Sometimes I'll do a couple extra little steps here and there, just to keep us moving. All right, 3, 2, grab that weight. Last one. Feet hip width apart, maybe a little wider. Sit those hips back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. I'm gonna do one more for good luck. Why not? All right, breathe. We get about 45 seconds to a minute. We're gonna go into our RDLs next. So choosing a weight that is doable for you. Now, a lot of your lower body days will always usually include a squat and hinge, something like that. So we want to get really good at doing these patterns over and over again. Repetitiveness can be really boring sometimes, but you really want to focus on increasing those weights when you can. Progressive overload is how we build that muscle, and the more muscle you build, more fat you burn at rest. All right. So I'm going to use my 8s for these. So the way I do my little deadlifts here is I go about hip width apart with those feet, right about here. Hold the weights right on the sides of your thighs. Roll those shoulders back and down. And then think of tucking your tailbone under just a little bit. So instead of having this big arch in the back, think of nice neutral spine. Shift the weight into your heels as your hips come back. And those weights, I want you to slide them down the legs until you reach your lowest part. So whether that is stopping right at the knees, if you feel a stretch in your hamstrings here, that works. Or you can even go a little bit lower, down to where you feel a stretch. Just don't let that upper back round. I want you to think of squeezing that line between your shoulder blades the whole time. Deadlifts are hard. They're hard form-wise. So if you are unsure about your form, feel free to drop the weights and just do a good morning and enjoy the stretch in the hamstrings. What we want to limit is this. So think of pulling those shoulder blades back. Let's do 3 more. And rest. Good. Now, if you have a question specifically about deadlifts or anything, feel free to send an email to your fitness center staff. We can always go through things with you. Those are hard, so it took me a while to feel confident to do. I still have people check my form, and people do things differently. So breathe. Give those legs a stretch. Inhale. All right, prep for it. Roll those shoulders back, squeezing in the back. Nice strong core. Slide it down and press those hips forward at the top. Hips come back. They press forward at the top. Seven, 8, 9, and 10. Now, how much you bend your knees is also a little bit different. Some people like to bend their knees a little bit more. It's more of a squat version. Some people like to keep their legs a lot straighter. I like to go a little bit in the middle and find that nice happy medium. But for those, think of hips coming back, hips press forward. It's a back and forth with the hips, not so much an up and down with the upper half. Okay, we got about 10 more seconds to breathe. Last set of these, and then we're gonna go into some hip thrusts or glute bridges, whatever you have available to be on the floor or something elevated. All right, last set, going for 10. Slide it back and press, squeeze at the top, down. Eight, 9, pull those shoulders back, and 10. All right, we'll drop those down, give yourself a minute. So you have two options here. If you have a bench, a chair, I think I'm gonna use my bench here today, my little bench right here. So we have options for these ones. So what a hip thrust is if you have a bench to go up against, you're gonna place the middle of your back on that bench, bring it up into a bridge right about here. And then we're just going to be coming down halfway, up, pressing through the glutes and through the heels. It's the same thing as a glute bridge on the floor. We're just elevating it so we have a little bit more of gravity. And now as you get better with these, you can add a weight to the lap. You could do a single leg to make these harder. But if you don't have something to place your back on, we're gonna go and just do a regular glute bridge. So we'll probably do two different versions here. So if you're a pro at glute bridges and you are a hip thruster and you can do those, I want you to go for those single legs. And if not, you're gonna practice your regular glute bridge going up and down, pressing. So I'm gonna go for a weighted glute bridge today. So I'm gonna take my dumbbell. So for these ones, again, we're gonna go for about 10 reps. Anywhere between 8 to 12 is your sweet spot. If you can easily do more than 12, if you stop at 12 and you're like, I can do more, that's your sign. Increase your weights just a wee bit. All right, from here, we're gonna inhale, squeeze, lift. I'm holding this weight here so that it doesn't roll up and hit me in the face. Down and up. Up and squeeze for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to hold it at the top and just hold, and I want you to focus on the contraction of squeezing the glutes together and pressing up through the hips all the way through for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Yeah. All right, place that to the side. I'm going to do the other version for this next round. Now, if you want a really good exercise for your glutes specific, that is not a squat or a lunge, hip thrusts will be your best friend, especially if you can do them where you have room to really add weight to them. You'd be surprised. Most people can actually do quite a good amount of weight because your glutes are some of your biggest muscles in your body. You can actually put up a lot of weight. You would be surprised. So when you're setting yourself up on a bench here, you want to make sure that the middle of your back is up against right there, and then you are just hinging. We're not breaking at the rib cage. We're not scooping. We're letting our whole torso come forward to press up. Again, choose a regular glute bridge. If this is a little too much for your brain today, we're gonna go for our next set. Here we go. Down, press up and squeeze. Down, up and squeeze. How low you go is up to you. 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to hold at the top. Again, pressing through, squeeze the glutes for 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, I'm going to go back to our glute bridge on the floor for the last set. And if you're someone who also works out in a gym and you are afraid of getting yourself set up into a hip thrust position like in a Smith machine, or you're afraid of taking up space, take up all the space. Walk in there like you own the place. Don't let gym intimidation ever get to you. I have fallen on my face at the gym and no one has noticed, and I think that says a lot, so nobody's watching. All right, last set. Glute bridge, press through those heels, squeeze the glutes together, lift, drive the hips up. Down and up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up and squeeze, 9. Last one, hold it at the top. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we are doing good. All right, next one. Take a sip for some water. Take a sip for some water. Take a minute for a water break. We are going to do either some reverse lunges with weights or a rear foot elevated split squat. So if you are looking for a more advanced version and you really don't feel like walking tomorrow, then we will do the rear foot elevated split squats. So continue resting. Rear foot elevated split squats, you're going to work more with the foot back up on something. You're going to work this leg a lot more in the glutes and hamstrings. You can do front foot elevated split squats if you have a small step, a small stool, anything from here. When that front foot is elevated, you're going to be working more of your quads here. We're going to be a little bit more hamstring and glute focused today. And if you don't have a step, you're going to do regular lunges, down and up, just like that, holding your dumbbells. Starting on the right, switch to the left. Okay. What do I want to do? I'm going to start with regular lunges and then really seal the deal at the end. All right, right foot in front. Bring that left foot back. From here, I want you to think of squaring those weights around that front foot. As you drop down, you're basically squatting over that front leg. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's go 10, 9, and 10. Wow, those weights feel heavy today. Switch legs. All right, make sure both of those feet are facing forward, hips are facing forward. Think of bending the back knee to tap it right on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if your knees ever get a little bit uncomfortable during these positions, just reduce your range of motion. Don't go down as low. Last one, and rest. Take about 20, 30 seconds. I'm going to switch into my rear foot elevated. And then we are going to move ourselves down to the floor after this. All right. I'm just gonna do one. All right. Place my back foot up on here. All right, right leg. Here we go. Down, up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, other side. Oh, all right. Get nice into position. All right. Here we go. Bring it up, left side. 1, 2. Oh, my left side is not having it today. 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that knee behind the toe. 9 and 10. Oh, I'm going back to regular squats. All right, take a second. Bulgarian split squats. Overhead presses, I think, are like the 2 exercises that never feel like they get easier, no matter what. Especially when you do heavy weights with those, especially the rear foot elevated. You contemplate life every time. Okay, last set. Each leg. Start with that right leg. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Down and up. Keep breathing. Six, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch it out. Here we go. Left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo! All right. Grab us some water. We're gonna move our way down to the floor. Take a lighter weight with you as well. All right, all I got here is no, wait, where are my 2s? Okay, I got a 2. A 2, a 3, a 1, a 5, a 1, 2, 3. I'm just kidding. All right, working quads here. Quads, hip flexors, core. Got our bigger muscle groups down. We're gonna focus a little bit more on those smaller muscle groups and working on our mobility. All right, these ones are fun. So it's a core exercise and a quad and hip exercise. So we're gonna take a weight. You're gonna squeeze it between your feet. The name of the game is don't drop the weight. You're gonna bring it onto the elbows. Make sure that your back is nice and curved in. You wanna make sure that that core is working. Don't let your back arch and that rib cage open. Bring it down and in. Tap the weight to the floor. Lift. Tap. Lift. The closer you tap it, the easier it is. The further away, the harder it is. Okay? Now we are just going for time for these, so don't worry, we're not counting these. We're going for time. Bring it down and up. Squeeze that weight with the feet. It's going to work those inner thighs and those inner adductors and abductors. All right, we're almost there. Drop it if you need to and just finish out with the toe taps. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. Now, if you have your water bottle, I want you to place it in front of you or put your dumbbell in front of you. Wherever you got it is fine. You're going to sit in a straddle position. Think of a medium-sized pizza slice. From here, you're going to have your hands either behind you for some support. The further you lean back, the easier it is. No hands is the hardest. Starting with that right leg, I want you to think of lifting the leg up and over that dumbbell or water bottle. This is one of those ones that look really easy. It's actually very hard. So depending on how your mobility is, especially in the front, you're going to feel this a lot in that hip flexor. The goal is to squeeze all of the muscles in that leg. Lift it up and over. 5 seconds. And rest. Whew. All right, same thing on the left leg. I will do it facing this way. All right. I'm going to put it so that it's about in line with your ankle. All right, sitting up nice and strong, strong core. Here we go. Squeeze all the way through that leg. Lift up and over. Woo. Strength is nice, but you can't do much with it if you can't move it. Last one, and rest. All right, next one. We're going to repeat this whole combo one more time through. So we're going to go into our stag position. So both knees are bent. Now the goal here is to lift this back leg, just the foot off of the floor. So if you need to, take a lean forward over this leg, and we're going to work on that hip rotation. Lift and lower. The goal is to get that foot on the ground. The knee is staying on the floor, and we are rotating from the ankle. And it may not go anywhere the first time. This is why we definitely want to work on these. Our hip mobility is so important. Last one. And switch legs. Bring them up and over. Other position. The further, again, you lean forward, the more easier it will be. As you sit upright, more difficult. So find whichever works best. Lift, lower, lift, lower. If you can, and also take that hand, place it on the hip, use your thumb to feel your glute muscles, especially in the back. You'll feel it. As you lift that foot, you'll feel those engage in the back. Your glute medius and glute minimus play a huge role in our lower back health as well. Almost there. 2 and 1. All right, roll it back over. We're going to get through these last ones. Take your dumbbell between the feet, bring it up, hold it in tabletop. Enjoy this nice little hold, get the core working. All right, down and up, tap, lift, tap, lift. The heavier weight you use for these, the more you will feel it. I am already shaking like a leaf. All right, we're almost there. 10 seconds. Three, 2, and 1. All right. 20 seconds, leg lifts on each side. I'm going to place my dumbbell here. Here we go. Squeeze and lift, up and over, right foot. Lift and lift, lift. 2, 1. Switch legs. Here we go. Inhale, squeeze, keep the core nice and strong. Lift, lift. Last one. And rest. All right, pretzel, last round. Here we go. Inhale, lift that foot, 1. Eight, 9, 10. You can always hold it at the top and do a pulse. Good, and switch legs. Here we go. Lift, lift. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Take it into a butterfly position. Stretch those hips out. Good. Reach the feet out in front. Forward fold. Reach the toes. Give those hamstrings a nice little stretch. And slowly roll it up. Nice job, everyone. That is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will not be here next week, so I will be on vacation, but I will see you next time. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to hydrate and get your protein in. Bye, guys.